First of all, I'd like to say good evening, good morning, good afternoon to all of my many friends, also to my many enemies. Once again, this is another episode of Roosevelt Sounds Off. All of you all who have subscribed and all of you who will, I thank you very much. It's very much appreciated from my heart to yours. Remember, if you like this video, be sure to give me a big thumbs up. I would greatly appreciate it. Now the story I'm going to get into, and before I get into that, let me first of all send my best wishes out to all of you all. Hope everybody had a wonderful and refreshing and relaxing, and most of all a tasty Thanksgiving holiday and Thanksgiving weekend. I sure did. It was very much enjoyable. I spent time with my goddaughter's family. Got a chance to see my goddaughter and her family, which is like another family and everything to me, which is always cool anytime you get a chance to see and spend time around family. You know, family doesn't always mean that you're blood related, but you know, who's ever the closest to you, who's ever the treats you the best, who's ever the most loyal to you, that's truly your family. So hey, there you go. And I did speak to my mother and father and everything that morning, and they were even doing good in Minnesota, so I'm happy for that. And thankful for being here with you again, but not so thankful for having to bring you another story. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it has happened again. Another black man mistakenly shot by an overzealous police officer. Now, the last case we had of this is a case that I brought you here in the Chicago area of Jamel Robeson. Matter of fact, on this past Saturday, I attended his homegoing service, and it was very uplifting. And that wasn't just a homegoing service; that turned into a worship service. As far as I'm concerned, I mean, it was absolutely lovely, and I would have to say that the Robeson family put him away very nicely under the circumstance. But I want to take you tonight, or this morning, this afternoon, whenever you happen to be watching this video, to Birmingham, which used to be called back in the 60s, Birmingham, Alabama. Because there was a young man named Emantic Fitzgerald Bradford Jr., also known as E.J. Bradford, who was shot and killed by a police officer. Why? Because there was a fight at a mall, at a Galleria mall in Alabama, and I guess there was a fight in front of a shoe store, and some shooting had taken place, and there was somebody who was killed along with a 12-year-old girl who also got shot. But just because this man had a gun, one overzealous racist cop takes an opportunity to go and shoot him. Not just shoot him any place in the body, shoots him right in his face on Thanksgiving night. And the worst part about it is his family had to find out about it all over social media, because his family was never notified by the police or anything. They had to find out about it on social media. Why? Because as his body lay there were people who were videotaping with their phones, taking pictures of this man's face being completely blown off. And right now, it's a major concern, because right now his family doesn't know whether they can even have a dignified funeral or open casket. Now, one thing I was trying to do, I was going to try to bring you the entire press conference with their attorney, Benjamin Crump. As you know, Benjamin Crump is pretty well known. He has defended the Michael Brown's family, as well. He was also the attorney for the Trayvon Martin family. And they have retained him as an attorney because, the family wants answers. And there was video and everything there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play you a couple of clips of what I have. I'm going to play you a news clip of what happened during the shooting, and as well as Today, a Good Morning America, one of these morning shows of his parents along with their attorney, Benjamin Crump, on. As well as another clip of his grandmother being so distraught that she actually had to be carried away by other people. So I'm going to play you these three clips, and this falls under the category of fair use. and I will come back with the rest of what I think about this whole thing. And trust me, you don't want to miss this, because I will not hold back like I don't on many of these cases. Stay tuned for the clip.
A gunman is still at large after a shooting inside an Alabama mall, and now police are saying they may have shot the wrong man. One man was killed by police, but officers say he's not the person who originally shot and wounded 2 others. Right now, investigators think a fight outside a shoe store may have sparked all of the violence there. The man killed by police has been identified as 21-year-old Emantic Fitzgerald Bradford Jr. His aunt says he was a former member of the Army.
I found out about it on Facebook, and then I called my brother, and it was terrible. And my brother is sick now. He's a cancer patient, and he's sick, and his mom's, and that's his mother's only child. They didn't have to take him like that. He was not the shooter, and he's out here at large. Why the police are not out here trying to get him, whoever that person is?
Friends and family of the victim gathered today outside the mall to protest and demand justice. One protester called for a boycott of the mall, while others carried banners demanding a stop to gun violence.
Joining us now are EJ's parents. We have April Pipkins and Emantic Bradford Sr. We also have civil rights attorney Benjamin Crump, who is representing the family now. Ms. Pipkins, Mr. Bradford, we're so sorry for your loss and how it had to happen this way and how you had to find out about this. Mr. Bradford, we here on New Day on Friday reported on this as though the gunman had been shot and killed by police. That's what the police statement said. That's what our police sources said. And then the story changed. And it turned out that your son, your 21-year-old son, who has no criminal record, was the person who was shot and killed. And the gunman is still on the loose. What have police told you about this horrible mistake?
They haven't told me anything yet. Nobody has responded. You know, we hadn't got no calls and no apology. Nothing has been told to us what happened, what transpired, and led up to this point.
Mr. Bradford, the police, in this horrible, tragic case of mistaken identity, have not reached out to you, his family?
No, not at all.
Ms. Pipkins, how do you think, you're holding a picture there of your son. We've seen him. We've seen how handsome he was. Obviously, he went into the Army. He was described by everybody as just being a helpful person, wanting to help others. How do you explain what happened in that mall?
I know that was the day that they took my son from me, and my Thanksgiving will never be the same. I'll never be able to see my son's face again, or to look into his eyes, or to hear him say, "Mom, I love you, Mom, love you," and hug on me and kiss on me, you know. And like his father has said, no one has even reached out to us in any type of way. So my Thanksgiving will never be the same, because that's just the you know, when I lost my son, and you know, not knowing, not even knowing if I'll be able to have an open casket, you know, to see him again. I'm just at a loss of words right now.
Understood. Mr. Crump, this is horrible. I mean, this is just a horrible tragedy, and the idea that the police wouldn't reach out to the family to try to explain themselves, but maybe it's that in the seconds, in the chaotic seconds after a gunman opened fire on shoppers on in a crowded mall, they showed up, and I think that what their story is now was that EJ had a gun himself, and they thought that he was brandishing a gun and that he was the gunman. Can it be an innocent case of mistaken identity?
Well, it's awfully ironic that they're asking for this family to give them the benefit of the doubt, the benefit of consideration, Allison, even though they didn't give E.J. Bradford the benefit of the doubt and consideration when this off-duty police officer who was doing private security for the Galleria Mall pulled the trigger, we believe, unjustifiably. Several witnesses have reached out to us and said it was in milliseconds. He offered no verbal commands. He didn't say freeze, police, anything. He just saw a young black man with a gun and he shot. Witnesses say EJ was helping them. A young lady said EJ saved her life and helped several others, reached out to the family. So he was a good guy with a gun. But this notion of good guy with a gun trying to stop the bad guys with guns doing these mass shootings, where if you happen to be black, the police see you as a criminal, and they shoot and kill you. That has been shown in Jamel Robinson in Chicago, now here in Birmingham, Alabama, which is the epicenter of the civil rights movement, that it doesn't matter if you're a good guy with a gun. If you're black, the police shoot and kill you and ask questions later.
Mr. Crump, is it your understanding from what you've been able to find out about what happened during that chaotic moment that many people in the mall were carrying guns that day and took their guns out as the good guys to try to stop the bad guy, or was it just EJ?
Well, we understand now that there was a shooting before this, and after they shot EJ, witnesses have said there was more shooting. So this would have suggested to the police that EJ was not the person who shot the gun if they're still shooting afterwards. But very important, the video tells us everything, Allison, to heal this community and give trust to this family and several in the community. What the police should do, what the family is demanding, is release the video. You don't need to say no more. Release the video, because they don't trust the police department because they've already lied to them and pulled the trigger. And the Hoover Police Department pulled the trigger and released his picture all over the world, saying that he was a shooter, and they said the officer was a hero. Can you imagine how that made these parents feel?
No.
They knew their child.
I can't.
Who they raised.
And so, Mr. Bradford, you also, it should be said, are 25 years a correctional officer. You're in law enforcement. You know police and are friends with them in this area. So have you asked them for the video, and have you asked them why they're not reaching out to your family and making some sort of compensation to you?
You called in.
No, I haven't, because I think that's just showing respect for another person, regardless of where I worked or how long I worked there. You should just obviously do that to a parent and let that parent know, hey, my condolences, I'm sorry, we made a mistake. That's all I wanted to say. You know, just come out and call me as mother and say, hey, Ms. Bradford, can we sit down and have a talk? And then I'll talk to you. But my thing is, you show me lack of respect, his mother lack of respect, my son lack of respect, because you allowed him to lay there in the mall with his bleeding out. You never covered him up. You got people putting stuff all on Facebook, you know, social media. My son's brains blowed out, and his grandmother couldn't take it. She almost passed out yesterday. And, you know, you covered my son's body up. You just let him lay there in the open, and everybody was just taking pictures and videos. So, you know, that's disrespectful.
Yeah.
And it hurts me as a father, and it hurts me as a person that worked so long for law enforcement, and just to get that disrespect. That's disrespect totally across the board.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Bradford and Ms. Pipkins, Benjamin Crump, you are not asking for anything unreasonable. You are asking for the common decency of a phone call to understand what happened in that mall and why your 21-year-old son was killed. Obviously, we will stay on the story. We will wait for the video to be released and the rest of the pieces to come together here. We're so sorry for your loss. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you, Allison.
Okay, you just saw those 3 clips that I had all put together, and that falls under the category, again, of fair use. Okay, let's get more into this thing. He is at a mall on Thanksgiving night, you know, just like a whole lot of people are, because a whole lot of people, I guess, on, you know, that Thursday, you know, after they get done eating their Thanksgiving dinner, they want to go to the mall and everything because they want to search for bargains and look for deals, because a whole lot of people during that time start their Black Friday shopping early. And there was a fight that was in the mall. It didn't involve him, but somebody started shooting. And just because he has a gun, which, you know, a whole lot of people have guns and everything for self-defense, you know, they think that he is the shooter. And even his father said in the long press conference, I wanted to bring you, but, you know, I was trying to get that clip, but that probably would have made the video entirely too long. But it was a whole lot of good things that were said in that press conference. But his father had said something that was completely key to this whole thing. That just because you see somebody with a gun does not mean that they just got through committing a violent offense. And according to what witness statements have said, that even though he was out there with a gun, he was out there trying to actually help people. And this cop didn't even identify himself as being a police officer or say stop police. He just shot him right in his face. How does a police officer just act so inhumane and so utterly stupid without trying to find out exactly what is going on first before they go and pull the trigger on somebody and shoot them in the face on Thanksgiving? Really? Is that what we have fallen to in this society? So now a man and a woman, a man who of course is a cancer patient, and whose son was helping to take care of him, and he was in town, the worst part is, for Thanksgiving. And it's a shame because he was in military also, that, you know, you could come home and you can be involved in battle and all that kind of thing. You might not die in military or in the war, but yet you got to come back here and worry about somebody or police dying because a police officer shot you unjustly. This kind of stuff should not still be going on in this country. I think that we, as the people, need to start rising up against this authority. You know, I'm the kind of person, I'll tell you what kind of person I am. You know, many people who know me personally will tell you that I feel that I'm a good person, nice person, peaceful person. And as a past victim of even, you know, police misconduct myself, you know, I tried to go about it the right way. I tried to go and, you know, even in my case, I never got any justice. I tried to go about, you know, writing to the police commander, writing to the police chief, trying to do things the right way. But nothing ever got settled. Even tried marching in police protests, you know, peaceful protest against police terror and police brutality and all this other kind of stuff. But us as the people, especially black people in this country, are tired of singing. We're tired of marching, all of this other kind of stuff. We're almost getting tired of being peaceful. Like the late Malcolm X said, it's time that we stop singing and we start swinging. This is what is going to need to happen. Because the next clip I'm going to bring you is coming from a man who says that if the police ever kill his son, what he is going to do about it. Oh boy, you're going to love this. Because as peaceful and as nice as I want to be, or even try to be, they're actually making me go there to where if something ever happened to somebody in my family at the hands of a police officer that did not have to happen because the police officer was too trigger happy and too overzealous, I might end up doing what this guy says in this next clip that we as the people need to do. Check this out.
But if you kill my son, I'm going to kill you. I'm not going to get on TV and cry and call for Reverend Sharpton. I'm going to quietly sit back, bury my baby, and then I'm going to figure out how to kill you and your wife and kill you and your children. Every black parent that have lost the child to the bullets of the enemy in uniform who's supposed to be your protector, you should go kill those enemies. That's your duty as a human being. And if you can't protect your family, you're going to bring a baby in this world, raise him up to a man, child, or a woman, and then you're going to let somebody come and shoot them down like a dog in the street, not only go into court and get off and laugh in your face, but they pay them back pay. And you just going to get on TV and cry. No, your obligation is to go to your grave to avenge your children. That's your duty as a human being, black man.
Now, I know you just got through watching that clip. And I know to some of you all out there, that might sound a little bit harsh. To some of you all out there, that might sound a little bit like, you know, people going a little bit too far. But what would you do to the average person, the average everyday Joe, who killed one of your children unjustly? You know, you would try to do every single thing that you could to try to bring this person to justice. But a whole lot of times people, they think that we are supposed to just cower down and just bow down to this person, all because it's supposed to be a so-called police officer. They're nothing but human beings, flesh and blood, just like me and you, who have to eat, sleep, go to the bathroom, and die and rot and stink in the grave like one day, like all of us have to do. A police officer puts on his and her pants one leg at a time, just like I do every single day. It's a person. Why do we have to cower down so much to what a person wants us to do, especially when this person is completely wrong and only using, you know, their authority against us? Because many times police officers, they go and pull the trigger and do all of this other kind of criminal stuff. Because why? Many of them have a God complex that just because they're holding a badge and a gun and they have the government and authority on their side, they think that they can act out any kind of way that they want to. And this should not be. And it's about time that we, as the people who are the employers of the police, because don't forget, the police work for you and they work for me. They don't work, we don't work for them. So if anything, they need now to be afraid of us. It's about time that we stop being afraid of them. So that's where I'm going to leave this story. I will stay on this particular story because right now they said that the officer involved, he has been put on administrative leave, which is always the procedure whenever there's a police involved shooting. And right now his name has not been released. But you can best believe, as soon as I found out his name, yes, I will be coming back to you and all of my viewers and letting you know exactly who this murderous, evil, racist cop is. So right now, before I leave, and before you leave, I need to give you a quick program note. Tomorrow, I'm hoping everything goes off without a hitch, but I believe it'll probably be like around 11:30 hour in the morning. There will be I will be conducting an interview live on YouTube of a young man who was lied on by a white woman in Dallas, Texas, same kind of a place, in a mall. Lied on and said that him and one of his other friends were stealing and they were handcuffed by police. So right now I'm going to end this video, but I'm going to end this video of the stop of when they were handcuffed. And the worst part is they were handcuffed in front of his children. So I'm going to play that video and let that sink into your head, because I think that this is very important. Because whenever people accuse someone of stealing and whenever police get involved, people do not understand the climate that we are living in, that these kind of things can be very dangerous. And that this situation, as simple as it was, somebody accusing him of stealing, how this could have turned around whenever three police officers are involved with tasers and guns, how this could have turned deadly. So right now I'm going to show you that clip. And if you like this video, be sure to give me a thumbs up. I greatly appreciate it. As always, peace and blessings to all. And I will see everybody in the next video. Stay tuned for the clip.
Yeah, just record. Just record. That's all you gotta do. we pay? His old jacket. His old jacket. You know how they get new stuff. Yeah, they want to throw it on. I said, throw it on right now, man. You know, so much. Letting Chef look like, why did I ask him to look? Yes. Oh, man. I was just here yesterday. Literally. Especially pretty smart, dude. He says, what, pretty smart shit? Pretty smart. Yeah, he said, do you work here too? I thought she was trying to hit on us or something else. Everybody's looking terrified. I don't even know what to do, dude. I ain't coming back, man. Yeah, we're leaving, dude. Risking like a joke, man. This is not possible. I ain't never been this disrespectful. I can understand if it's slow stuff, but I'm just sitting here shaking the boots thing. I care less. Only in America. Makes no sense. Three switch. Yeah, I think her mom would have been up. That means part of family getting married. About 5 times, like something natural. Here, right back in. There's formal, like, all the receipts. That's the shit we have. Those are his $2. Sorry, I'm trying to help you out too. Usually they'll pull you around back and take you in. They just straight up pull this out for everybody. What's up, man? Just laid it out. Hey, didn't we just buy something for yourself? About this. Thank you. Thank you, bro. The girl down here trying to tell us in the crowd. She's trying to say throwing us under the bus, man. We ain't doing nothing. Making herself look more and more ignorant. Embarrassing. No, where's the go? Spend more anything out of your soul. Who bought it, man? Yeah, no problem. That's my clothes I'm taking back to the store. Receipt and the tag is in there. Yes, sir. No. I'm not taking my any anger. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. No, you can quiet. Be quiet. Have some respect. It makes no sense. It does. Have respect for this time. Yeah, we spent some money today. We still eating, baby. Definitely still eating. That's terrible. I have a run into the loss, and one thing I can tell you is, being 29 now, being 18 night today, I will never steal money from anything ever again. I've learned the hard way, yes sir. I've learned the hard way in life, and yeah. Thank you. And the apologies not letting me. how it all started other than this is how it happens in America, people. You see what just happened to us. We're in here shopping for the kids. We're just spending money, and they see us, and they want to say that we're stealing, but we just showed them receipts for everything that we just purchased, and they have to let us go. So, welcome to America. In front of my kids today, this is what's going on. Yes, ma'am, I am right now. I'm recording the whole thing. This is America. This is America. These guys were great. It's not their fault. This is America. Come on, guys. I knew I should have bought